Word for you today. I hope your weekend is getting off to a good start. We're continuing in the idea of moving from failure to success. Psalm 126, verse 2 says, "Our mouths were filled with laughter, our tongues with songs of joy. Then it was said among the nations, the Lord has done great things for them." Psalm 126 is called a song of ascents. It's the seventh of 15 psalms, and that's Psalm 120 through Psalm 134. Songs for the Israelites as they went to Jerusalem. They sent it to Jerusalem for the various feasts. They would sing these songs as they went. 4 of them are attributed to King David. He wrote 4 of them. 1 to Solomon, and the other 10, we're not sure who wrote them. Psalm 126 could refer to the time when the Israelites returned from Babylon to Jerusalem after being in exile for 70 years. It says, "Our mouths were filled with laughter, our tongues with songs of joy. Then it was said among the nations, the Lord has done great things for them." They were talking about how life had not been good and suddenly now was so wonderful. They praised God because they recognized it was God's hand that allowed them to come back to Jerusalem. How about, can God use our failures to bring about success? And when He does, what does He do in us? When we've had a failure at something, we failed at something, and what does success look like? What does God do in that process from failure to success? Well, one thing is He uses failure to transform us. You know, I've grown closest to God when life was most difficult. He taught me that He's always there and I can always count on Him and on His faithfulness. I learned that no matter how dark life was, God brought light and hope, and that strengthened my faith in Him, that He would be there whenever I needed Him. The second thing, the failures often open new doors of service. Sometimes God allows us to fail so that we will consider moving to a new ministry or a new location. Excuse me, sorry about that. If we are content where we are and everything's going along great, why move? But sometimes God will allow things to go poorly or even us to fail to get us to move to a place where He wants us to be. Another thing, our failures can encourage others. When we see what other people have gone through, we look at somebody who looks like they're successful and think, wow, these people, life must have been great for them because look how successful they are. And we recognize that, life hasn't always been successful. They've had failures. They've had things they've had to overcome. That gives us encouragement and hope that, you know what? No matter of our failures, we can overcome that as well. And then it also reveals sin in our lives and changes our future. When we're in the middle of a failure, it may be that God says, you've been trying to do it your way. I've been telling you not to do it that way, but you're bound and determined to do it your way. Okay, go ahead. And we are sinning against God by ignoring Him and doing it our own way. And then we recognize that. We recognize the sin in our lives, whether it be pride or whether it be poor judgment, whatever it might be. And we say, okay, God, you're right. And we turn from our way, we repent, we turn to God, and then He gives us a bright future. Failure does not have to be a bad thing. God can use it to transform us, to open new doors of service, to encourage others, or reveal sin in our lives and change our future. There was a man named Mark Floyd. He was a businessman. He encouraged several people to invest $20 million in a business venture. Guess what? It went broke. He lost the $20 million. What would you do if you were Mark Floyd? Well, what he did was he went back to these people to tell them that he had lost all their money. Wow. That took some doing, didn't it? And you know they were upset. But you know what he did then? He told them Here's what I need. I need you to give me some more money because I've got something that I know is going to work. And not only will it make you money, it'll give you back the money that I lost. Tell me, would you reinvest with him? They did. They reinvested with him. And not only did they get their money back from the first investment, but they made a lot of money beyond that. What did it take? What did it take for Mark Floyd to go to those people and admit he had failed? But then not only that, to turn around and ask them for more. Wow, that takes a lot. What did it take for those people to give him additional money, knowing that he'd already lost a considerable amount of money that they'd given him? That took a lot. But really, moving from failure to success, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of obedience on our part to God, so God can bring success in our lives. And just like Mark Floyd, he could have crawled away or run and hid and never tried to not see those people ever again. But he didn't do that. He accepted the responsibility. And folks, when we fail, we need to accept responsibility of our failure and then allow God to make something good of it. So let me ask you, is there something in your life that you have failed at? Maybe it's a relationship. There may be somebody you need to call right now and talk to and renew a relationship with them. Maybe there's somebody that you have borrowed money from and you haven't paid them back. You need to call them up and say, hey, listen, I'm bringing that money right now. Maybe there's another area that you have failed in, and you just need to own up to it and say, you know what? I did my best, but I failed. And I'm going to pick up and I'm going to make this right. That's what God would have us to do. That's what Mark Floyd did. And it worked out for him. And if you will listen to God, God will turn your failures to success. Have a good weekend.